Yo, what is up guys, Jellyfacey here. Today I'm going to show you and explain how each mechanic on the Atlas works in Power of Exile 2. And for those of you that don't know, when we use the term mechanic, what we're describing is things like Breach, Delirium, Expedition, and Ritual. Okay, let's begin with the basics first. Before you can access maps, you must first complete a campaign. And in this game, what we call maps are actually waystones, like these. Now, when you get access to the Atlas, you see something like this. And the mechanics that I was describing are these little icons over here. Now let's begin by explaining what the icons mean. If you go to the top left, you can open a map legend. As you can see, the four main mechanics are Breach, Delirium, Expedition, and Ritual. So in Breaches, what drops from them, mainly it's a lot of monsters that you kill, and these monsters give you a lot of loot. So the main reward for doing Breaches are the splinters that drop from either the monsters or the hands that spawn in them. So when you collect 300 Breach splinters, what you get is a Breach stone. Now this stone gives you access to the Twisted Domain, and what happens in there is that you get to fight a bunch of Breach monsters, and there's a little timer which is really generous. And you get to go all the way to the end, and at the end all the loot drops at once, and it's a bunch of splinters, it's a bunch of breach rings, catalysts, all the random loot that you got from killing the monsters. But mainly, the reason why you want to do Twisted Domain is that you want to kill Zesht. And Zesht is a boss fight. He's a breach lord that can drop special items such as Hand of Wisdom action. Killing Zesht is also how you get the points on the Breach Atlas skill tree. Killing him the first time grants you 2 points to spend on the skill tree. Using your first 2 skill points, you can pick one of these small nodes and a big notable, such as this one. The small node will increase the difficulty by 1, which means that the next time you fight him, he'll grant you your second set of points. Do know that you cannot immediately go to difficulty 2 and get 4 sets of points. You have to go in order. So your first kill at difficulty 0 will grant you 2 points, your second kill at difficulty 2 will grant you your third and fourth. Killing him again at difficulty 2 will grant you your 5th and 6th points, and one last time at difficulty 3 will grant you your 7th and 8th. This format of getting your skill points in 2s in pairs, alongside with the difficulty of the encounter, is true for every mechanic in the game. So it's the same in Expedition logbooks. You're going to kill Olorov at difficulty 0 first to get your first 2 points, then difficulty 1 for your third and fourth. If you're not confident or if you're not sure about whether or not you can do the encounter, you can also pay a player to carry you through the encounter. You can do this on Global 820. This is a channel where people offer services to carry people for a price. For example, this guy over here. My map might loot 30 exiles, so you can try your luck here, but if you want a safer approach, you can go to a private Discord known as Forbidden Trove. So now that we got all the basics out of the way, I'm gonna show you a really quick Breach map and explain some of the mechanics. So when you're on a map with a Breach, and you start seeing these purple swirly things, that's when you know you're near a Breach hand. Now, when you touch the hand, a bunch of monsters are gonna show up, and they're gonna swarm you, so you need really good clear speed, but I'm just gonna let you see what it looks like. And as you can see, as the Breach expands, more and more monsters show up, and you can see there's a bunch of Breach hands that show up as well. Walking over them opens them for us. And these hands gives us Breach splinters as well as some Breach rings occasionally. Now the most important thing for me is that I make sure that I'm able to kill as many rare mobs from the Breach as possible. And that not only gives me more splinters and rings and catalyst. Catalyst is another type of loot that we are getting from Breach as well. But we are also increasing the chances of big currency drops such as Divines. So here's a quick example of what a map with Delirium looks like. I'm gonna load in, and right in front of me, close to the spawn, there's gonna be a little mirror of Delirium. As you can see, the mirror is right here. All we gotta do is we gotta run through it and it'll begin the encounter. How it works is that we gotta stay within the fort and we gotta keep scoring kills to increase the tier of reward we get. Now the tier of reward we're gonna get is seen on the bottom left of the screen right here. You see those little number 1 and that little bottle thing? That's actually our reward. So right now we're at tier 2, and I don't know how it works exactly, but higher is better. There might be some sort of currency roll up, so you might actually get better emotions if you get a higher tier. Now as you can see, why I went backwards there was because I actually ran out of the fort right here. If you can see that there's a little timer on the top. That's because I ran forward too fast. And I know it's really hard to tell where the fog is, but because this map is white, but if you see a timer, that means you're out of it. Sometimes you're too fast, sometimes you're too slow. It's kind of like a donut in shape, and it's just expanding from the point you started. So now you can see that my timer is run out, and what that means is that it's gonna give us all the rewards at once. And these are the emotions that we can use to either anoint our amulet or our map. So now that we have some emotions from doing Delirium, what we can do is we can spend them on our maps as well, on our waystones, sorry. Now the way you do this is by right clicking the emotion. In this case I'm gonna use Guild. And what Guild does is that when I put in a map here and I click in my emotions, you can see that it augments my map with an additional set of mods that increase the pack size of the map. And these emotions are super cheap, they're like 1 Exile each. On maps that have Delirium anointed onto them, monsters have a chance to drop Simulacrum splinters. And these splinters are roughly about an Exile or less each, so in general, every time you anoint a map, you're gonna make back the currency that you put in. So there's an example of what an anointed map looks like. So there'll be a Delirium fog all around your map, and it has no timer. It doesn't run out. You do not get emotions as a reward, but you still see fractured mirrors all over the place. And killing some of these Delirium spawned monsters have a chance to drop you a Simulacrum Splinter as well. 300 of this will allow you to go into a Simulacrum, which is a wave-based mode, and that has a boss fight as well. So those of you looking for a huge trick on how to do Breach better is that you can actually see where Breach Lot hands are actually going to be beforehand. And the way you do it is that if you look over where my cursor is, there's this very faint spot over here that looks distorted. And what it actually means is that that spot exactly is going to be where Breach Lot hands going to appear. Now let me show you this is true. Now you see that? This is a map with a ritual on it. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna clear it real quick. And you can see here that basically how a ritual works is that you're gonna run around the map. Actually, you've seen this in the campaign. You run around the map and you see these weird occult circles on the ground, right? So when I click on this altar, it'll resurrect all the monsters I just killed. And every ritual after this will have the resurrected monsters from this ritual as well. So to maximize the amount of tribute you get, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click on the ritual with the most amount of monsters inside first. You just want to click on the ones with the most rares or like a magic pack inside, and you want to start with those first before you click on the other rituals with lesser monsters. So I'm going to click on this one, and it's going to resurrect everyone inside. I'm just going to kill them. And now you see I have about 600 tribute. This is the currency in which you used to spend on items such as this. You can see in the bottom right, there's 2 more altars left in this map. I'm gonna do those before I start shopping and talking about what we're looking for. Now, if you can see, this ritual had really little monsters inside just because of the layout of the map and everything, and just how it's in a hallway. Half of the space is wasted. And this is going to be a ritual of really little monsters, especially if I click this one first. But because we clicked on a decent sized ritual early on, this one's going to give us a little bit of tribute. Yeah, sometimes monsters get stuck somewhere and you gotta kill them before you can end the encounter. Oh, it's a bug. Sometimes these little stone golem thingies don't wake up and you just have to port out and go back in just to fix it. Now if I walk closer, this guy's gonna wake up, see? Now as you can see, we had 660 ritual on the first one. The second one gave us about 900. This one's gonna give us the most, I think. Actually, there's no guarantee since each ritual you click on, the monsters from the previous one get lesser, like lesser of them respawn. Like, you're not gonna get the whole set of monsters from the first and second ritual. It's only gonna be a portion of them. Oh yeah, but we did get a nice amount. We got about 1,000 tribute here. And the reason why you want to maximize how much tribute you can get is because you can also re-roll the pages as well. Let me show you what this looks like. Generally, most of the stuff you're gonna see here is pretty crap. Like, this one's magic, rare. It's gonna take you some experience playing different builds to know which rare or magic items are worth keeping, but for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna defer everything and re-roll the page just so you can see what's on the next page. Now you can see we have something called this Omen of... I have no idea how to pronounce this. Omen of Amelioration. And this is somewhat valuable throughout the league, I'm not too sure, but generally people want things like these omens. Some of them are really worthless, some of them are worth a lot. You're gonna have to check the currency exchange to know what's worth something, but this one's worth something. Let's take it out. So I don't have a lot of tribute right now, I'm just gonna defer everything else and pick this up. I'm just gonna pick this up and defer everything else. Now let's check out how much that omen was worth. Click this in. Oh, jackpot. Look, it's about 60 exile right now. Put it on sale for 61, and that's ritual for you. It's pretty basic, pretty boring, but as you get more of the Atlas skill points, it gets more interesting. You can reroll up to twice. So once you clear the expedition site, you're gonna notice this area is full of these remnants with like a bunch of lines here. So how this works is that we're gonna plant bombs, and it's gonna cause monsters and chests to pop out of the ground. But alongside the monsters and the chests, there's also these remnants that allow us to increase the difficulty of the encounter while also giving us more rewards. So for example, I want this modifier here, more pack size and more artifacts. I'm just gonna drop a bomb here. And just to explain how it works is that the little flags, the red ones over here, the red flags are monsters. The bigger flags are more dangerous monsters. Sometimes you may blow up a flag and nothing will pop out. Sometimes it's just like that. And the little markers over here, the ones with the icon, these are the artifact chests. So the blue one is a bigger chest, the white one is a smaller one, and occasionally you can see a yellow one as well. So the way remnants work is that our first bomb, we're gonna have the effects of pack size and increase quant. So our first bomb here, the way it's gonna work, the way remnants work is that our first bomb here will give us pack size and increased quantity of artifacts dropped. And our second bomb here will have both now. We're gonna have pack size and 50% increased quantity. I'm gonna look around and see if there's anything else that I'm interested in. This one's really nice. Increased quality is really good. And unfortunately, it's really far. I can't reach it. I don't really want to go for the chest loot either. So what I'm gonna do with the remainder of my bombs is I'm just gonna put it onto the flags to get like 1, 2, 3 big flags here. And I'm just gonna try to get as many monsters and chests as I can, alright?
A bit of ancient treasure, eh?
So when you detonate, it'll go in order with the first bomb that I put down and the second. So each bomb after the first is gonna be more and more dangerous than the last one. When we find an expedition in the map, we're generally looking for a modifier on a remnant that says increased chance of expedition logbook dropping. That mod is the most valuable one. Unfortunately, I didn't get it this encounter. And the way it works is that when we get these artifacts, we can later on use this in our hideout to trade with the expedition vendors. And I'm going to show you really quickly later on how it looks like. So just know that the main loot we're looking for is just artifacts, but mainly logbooks. Alright? Yo, so we're back in the hideout. I'm just gonna show you real quick how to use your expedition currency. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna trade with ROG. So you're gonna want to take some of your coins as well as the artifacts, depending on who you're gonna trade with. And another thing I want to share with you guys real quick is that certain expedition people are worth more than others. So for example, Danik's currency, what he does is that he actually lets you buy the currency of anyone's. So for example, if I had 16 sun artifacts, I could just get 16 black scythe artifacts in fact. So this is really valuable because he's kind of like a wild card. Well, I'm not going to tell you how to play a logbook right now, but if you see Danik or Tujin on your logbook, and Danik is Knights of the Sun and Tujin is Black Scythe, always pick the expedition. Reason being is that their artifacts are just worth more. Reason being is that Tujin sells us jewelry. And sometimes it's crap, sometimes it's good, but in general his currency is just better. So let me show you real quick how this works. So first of all, you're gonna see a menu with like items here and you're just gonna think like, what the hell is this? This is really crap. So what I'm doing now is I'm just refreshing so I can find a good base. I'm trying to find something with good stats to begin crafting on. And right now I think this shoe is probably the best that we've seen in the rerolls. And reason being is that mana is a really desirable stat. There's tier 8 mana. And it has rarity on it, so why not? Let's just try. So when we buy it, we're not just going to get this pair of magic shoes right off the bat. He's actually going to offer to help craft it for us.
I could refurbish the
so right now you can see that he's trying to reroll all the prefixes, and that's definitely not what I want. Reason being is that this is mana on an energy shield base, so this is already somewhat a synergistic combo of modifiers and a base type. So I really don't want him to reroll the prefixes. It could get better, but it's probably going to be shit. So what you can do is you can skip, or you can take his upgrade, or you can just cut your losses and take the item. So if you skip once, you can't skip the next step. So if he tries to kill my item again, it's over. And skipping also makes the next craft more expensive. But right now, what he's trying to do is he's trying to kill the item, so I'm going to skip it.
Why don't I throw a
So now he's trying to modify it, give us one more mod, 3 artifacts, sure, why not, let's take it.
back end could do with a bit of refurbishing?
Alright, he gave us life, and now he's trying to kill the suffix again. And this is rarity, tier 1 rarity. I think I don't really care, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let him re-roll it. Hopefully we get something like resistances or something. Oh, that's crap. And the thing about this mechanic is that I have a feeling that he's gonna stop crafting on it real soon. But we can try one more time to re-roll our suffixes.
I could refurbish.
And it's the same thing, it's crap again. And you can see right now he says upgrade and take, right? This means that he's done with it, he's not gonna improve it anymore, he's not gonna do anything to it. So this is a complete fail. We didn't get move speed, we didn't get resistances. This item is dead, it's worth nothing, we're just gonna cut our losses and take it. So we don't have to spend the 2 artifacts that he's asking for. So it's really hit or miss whether or not you get anything worthwhile from the vendors, but I can do another example. Let's try a Quiver right here. This one's really kind of bad, but
Let's try something different with the front end.
we can try to fix the prefixes here, try to roll away accuracy, get something worthwhile.
Oh well, start again. shall we?
Alright, so lightning and cold, tier 5, tier 6. I'm just gonna keep this. This is good for lightning arrow. Just nice. Projectile speeds, just increase damage for us. I'm gonna skip, try and kill my item.
Pretty sure you've got it wrong. Wanna know what I see?
Well, critical hit, critical damage. Someone playing critical strike might like this. Just gonna take this one.
Next time.
So yeah, that's kind of how it works. You just click in and, you know, work on a base that catches your eye. Hopefully make it even better, like in this example. This one's pretty decent. Sadly, we didn't get +2 gems and dexterity or whatever, pierce. But pretty sure someone's out there playing crit lightning arrow. So thank you guys so much for sticking to the end of the video. I hope this was really helpful, especially for new players. Let me know if anything was too confusing. If you want me to go in depth with each mechanic, if you want me to explore logbooks, simulacrum, or make some bossing tutorials, I'm down to do anything. Just drop a comment, and if you liked it, like it. And if you enjoy my videos, please subscribe. Thank you so much.